Welcome to the Sound on Sound People and Music Industry podcast channel with me, Kevin Paul. In this episode, which was recorded in 2020, I talked to Caesar about his starting at Assault and Battery Studios, working with production legends Alan Moulder and Flood. What I really like about this interview is Caesar's enthusiasm for the studio. Caesar is a Grammy Award winning engineer, and in 2020 he won the MPG Breakthrough Engineer of the Year award. And since then he has gone on to work with artists such as Beach House, Queens of the Stone Age, The Killers, St Vincent, Code Orange, Wet Leg and The Last Dinner Party. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Caesar, nice to meet you.
Hi.
How are you?
Nice to meet you too. Good.
Is this the first studio you worked in?
Yes. This is like the first studio I worked in. I just sort of found I got Alan's email off a friend. He gave me it, and then I basically emailed him saying hey, can I come do some work experience? Get food, do teas, do coffee, clean everything. And just came in about 7.5 years ago and just stayed.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I've never left since it was my first.
Literally, you've never left.
I think, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not a bad place to start.
No, it's definitely not a bad place to start.
Why did you want to work in the recording studio? Were you, have you been a musician? Did you always want to work in the studio?
Sort of when I started out in Liverpool, in LIPA, I was doing a very short diploma course where first half of the year it was music and second half of the year was sound technology. And I was in between the both. I didn't know whether I want to do this or do that. I wanted to see what's on the other side. And when I got there, I realized a lot of people, a lot of guitarists are 10 times better than me. Yeah. And there was no point trying to be just trying to be a musician. And I just thought I just went into the studio and just went this is it. I feel at home.
Right.
And just decided decided that that's my career.
Cool. Do you play? Are you in a band?
Still no, I'm not in a band or whatever, but I do play guitar. I've just recently started because being an engineer, you just listen to music all the time. You can feel somehow detached from music. So I'm trying to at the moment trying to pick up guitar at home, just to make me feel why I love music. As a kid, playing the guitar, just sitting around, kumbaya, singing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Singing along, playing some music, just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find it's quite important.
That relationship.
Yeah. Why did you do music in the end? Why did you start? Why did you pick this as your career? Yeah. Because, it can be quite hard, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just came from Singapore.
Yes.
Why come to the UK?
So because I didn't have enough money to go to America
to
study.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, did they not have colleges and places in Singapore or in Asia that you could have gone to?
Yeah, there is. I got rejected for all of them. All the music schools, they said I wasn't good enough.
That's their loss there, isn't it? They missed out, right?
Yeah, pretty much. They all just said sorry, you're not what we're looking for.
Right.
And just pretty much, then I just came to LIPA because at that point I was just thinking ooh, Paul McCartney school.
Yeah, sure.
And there's quite a lot of cool people Mike Crossy, Alan Moulder was patron as well, I think. Sort of, yeah. And there's quite a few cool producers that were involved. So I just thought sounds like a pretty good school.
Yeah. And you obviously enjoyed your time there because you went on to win the Sennheiser Award.
Yeah, I did.
What was the award for? Was that for your work?
I think it was his overall work.
You think? Or you're not sure?
No, I think it probably is. It was just, I have actually no idea. They just told me I won an award. I was oh my God, this is amazing.
And what does the course that you do, was it focused on the studio and production?
No, it was not just based on studio and production. It was based on it was all aspects of sound. So we learned technically all physics and everything. You had to do all the sound theory, and you were in the studio, and then they brought you into live sound, and then they got you into doing like film music, and they get you to like do like all kinds of like all aspects of sound, because like they don't want you to just go in and just be like a studio guy and then just come out. That's it. Like, funny stories, when we started like the class, there was like 30 of us, and 30 of us wanted to be studio engineers.
Right, yeah.
By the end of the day, there was only 4.
Wow.
When our course finished, I think there was about like 4 people left that still want to be in studios. The rest of them just went like, nah, this is not for me.
I mean, I guess it's a good place to learn if you do want to be in the studio, because the studio is a very particular environment.
Yes.
Isn't it? When you first started here.
Yes.
Were you just working all the time?
Yes, I was working all the time. It was crazy when I came here. This like, first day of the studio, I just came in as like a 24-year-old, 23. And then I just walked into the studio, just sat at the back. And Alan was mixing False Inhaler.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty good introduction.
Yeah, that's a great start, right?
Exactly. So they put it on, like, just press play. It was like, dun, 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 dun. It just blew my mind when the chorus came in. I just went like, I'm never ever leaving like this place. And then a week later, Jimmy Page walks in. We were doing Celebration Day. Led Zeppelin. I just thought like, oh my God, I'm on work experience. Are you kidding me?
It's obviously not always like that.
No. It's not always like that.
Jimmy Page isn't always coming in.
No,
You're probably not always working with the False.
Zeppelin. No.
Do you still put the same amount of energy and effort into working with a lesser known band?
Yes.
Than you do with the Gods?
Yeah. I do. It's like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that like whoever that you're working with, you put in more effort, or like, you know, it's just like, oh, he's a name, that you put in more effort.
Yeah.
It's just all like has to be the same. Like when you pick like something to work, you have to believe in it 100%.
Yeah.
It's not like you can't give like 90%, like, you know, 90% effort, and then like someone else like working with False, you give like 110.
Yeah.
Like it's all 110%.
Sure. When you started working with Alan here, you was at work experience.
Yes.
And then what happened there? Did you automatically get a job here, or did you have to go back to Liverpool?
I did, like, so let me just tell you what happened, like, when I started over here. Basically, LIPA, like, trained me enough to deal with, like, the SSL computer and all. Like, so I was just recording. I was doing stems when Alan finished. At, like, 1 a.m., he'll leave, and then I'll stay up till 8 a.m. in the morning. Just, like, stemming, like, for Zeppelin to do, like, the 5-1 tracks.
Yeah.
So he's just staying up till like insane hours. And then once that was done with Zeppelin and all, it was done and dusted. Alan went to America to do Hesitation Marks, I think, with 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And then sort of he took, I mean, they did it for quite a few months, basically. And then I just had to go back to uni. And basically, I had to finish uni before Alan finished Hesitation Marks. So I had to finish all my coursework and everything and try to like rush it. And then when he was like, when he called me, I was like, yes, I'm ready to come back.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So he said, okay.
So yeah, he basically said,
yeah,
he offered me a place to come back that's
brilliant.
To stay. Yeah, and that's incredible.
And then you worked here full time.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I just moved brought my bags down from Liverpool, and that was it.
Yeah, you were here.
Yeah, I was here.
So when you came here as an assistant,
yes,
what were you doing for Alan? What were you just working with Alan?
Yes, I was just working with Alan. It's sort of, I just suddenly became, because obviously Flood's in the building as well, but like somehow I became Alan's guy rather than Flood's, because Flood had other people in his crew, and just sort of, I was more suited towards mixing.
Is that where you feel comfortable mixing?
Yes, I do feel comfortable. I feel comfortable just in a recording studio.
Yeah, sure.
It feels home.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's like recording or mixing. It's just like whenever I'm in the studio, I feel at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a typical day when you first started with Alan. You said you were doing the stems.
Yes.
What happened when you moved on from that?
What happened when I stopped doing that.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
how long were you working doing the stems and the support for Alan's stuff until what happened and where did you go?
I stopped doing recording stems like until like maybe like a year ago, but like pretty much, or like 2 years ago, pretty much I was doing everything
Okay, so
by myself.
What else were you doing? You weren't obviously just recording stems. What was a typical day when you were working?
Typical day was prepping sessions, just getting everything ready, getting the session like how he likes it, and just like doing like minute like little tweaks for like, because me and Alan, we worked together for quite a while, so some tweaks, like when someone sends like a comment, if it's not too big of a tweak, I can handle them.
So if you said turn the vocals up.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the vocals up, and then I'll be able to do it because it's not that difficult. But yeah, so do minute tweaks, like just prepping sessions and just like this general. And then because Alan gets to a point now where he just, because the thing is that with engineering, sometimes like you just want to hear the song, like, and when Alan's in front of like the computer, sometimes like you just because you're thinking about like the technical and the technical and the music, which I mean, like it's like a marriage between the two. But then when he can separate himself from that, like, so I drive like the computer for him. Like he'll tell me like, okay, like turn this up, turn this down, and then he could just concentrate on just hearing it.
So he sits back a little bit from the technical.
Yes, exactly.
Just sort of allows you to operate the computer completely and stuff like that.
Yes, he still makes all the decisions, but it's just like he just gets his brain off,
operating,
like looking at the screen,
that, so he can just concentrate on
the music. The music that's coming out of the speakers.
That's a lot of trust.
There is a lot of trust.
How do you handle working with someone of Alan's stature? And were you nervous at first? Are you still nervous?
Maybe not still nervous, because now he's like, he's a mentor and everything. But at first, like, I was very, very nervous when I came over here, because honestly, I think I probably grew up on Alan Moulder music.
Yeah, like, you're a big fan of their productions?
Yeah, for sure. It was just like sort of like all the Nails, Pumpkins, like just Depeche Mode, like they're all what I love, like what I hear like every day, like what I listen to. And then I just got a job here. It was crazy. Yeah, it's just like it's like the perfect like place, because the things that I listen to, like all that music, and it's like part of me. Yeah. So like I was really nervous when I started, but I mean, obviously you can't be nervous like if you see them every day. Yeah.
What happened after that? You're in your own space now. You're in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do here?
Sort of I still work with Alan quite a lot.
Yeah.
And like we still like work together most of the times, and now I do get to like do stuff myself.
Are you mixing your own projects?
So yes, I am mixing my own projects, and that's like, that's how we're like starting to push me to do more projects by myself, as well as working with Alan. You've
obviously learned from one of the best mixing engineers in the world.
Definitely.
How do you approach your mixes? What are you doing when you first get a track? I send you, if I'm asking Caesar to mix my record.
Yeah.
What do you do when you first get it? Are you
first, when I get the track, I listen to the track.
No.
Yeah. I hear
but
down the
people
track.
That, I'm not sure, because a lot of people listening wonder how to start approaching mixes. Yeah. And I think a lot of people struggle with mixing records. So what do you do? I give you the song.
Yeah.
And what do you do when you load it up? You load it up. You might. What do you obviously you prep it and you lay it all out.
Yeah.
And then what are you doing after that?
So pretty much like I just listen to the track, and then I just start working like methodically. I start working on the drums, and then bass, and then start putting it all together. And then you'll see me actually, very embarrassingly, I do take a lot of naps.
Okay.
It's just like I'll leave like the track playing, and I'll just like absorb and just get it in my head that you're living in like it sounds so pretentious to say it, but it's just like I just absorb the track and just pretty much let myself go into like not like a trance, but like it's just all this napping, and just like you just imagine like what it can be, and then just jump on it, just start working. It's pretty much like there's no one approach that I would say, like if you get a Caesar mix, you get like a loud guitar, like whatever. It's just sort of, it's just very hard to say.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, it has to feel right.
It has to feel
It
right.
has to feel right.
Okay, that's quite interesting.
Because the thing is that, I mean, I went to LIPA, and LIPA taught me to be technically excellent.
Right.
But then the thing is that coming over here, learning with like Alan and Flood, they teach me how this, like, you know, you have to feel the music. You have to feel it. Like, you know, it's just not just about technically excellent. You have to try to do both. It being technically excellent and the song has to be right. Yeah. It's all about the song. It's not just like, yeah.
So do you apply the same processes in every mix? Like completely? You have like a template?
Yeah, ish, I guess. Yeah, I guess ish. There's not really like I don't think there's quite a template yet.
Yeah. But
like there's still like, it's just processes that you start doing. Like I think like basically I love just like there's a point where if I can see myself singing like a karaoke version of it, it's like, yes, you're winning.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
well,
exactly. Yeah.
Do you do drum replacement?
Replacement, no. Augmenting, yes.
Enhancement,
okay. Yes. So.
And how do you do that? Are you using like a software program? I know Alan uses MIDI maps.
Yes.
Are you along that same path?
Yes, I am along that same path.
Yeah.
As well. And like, yeah, it's just to augment, just to add to what isn't there, pretty much, I would say. Is, yeah, sometimes like with hindsight, I guess you would record some things differently.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like some things are just not there where you want to push it, and like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, some bands are recording on lower budgets.
Yes. Or
they're recording in spaces that aren't conducive to recording.
Yeah, exactly.
They might be recording in someone's cellar.
Yeah.
You know, with a load of microphones that they've just grabbed.
Exactly.
You know, a load of condenser mics.
Yeah.
So often we're given sounds.
Yes.
That actually aren't in a place that we want them to be. So I'm just quite curious as to see how you approach that.
Yeah.
So you said with your drums you augment them, but what about guitars? Say the guitars are not recorded very well.
Yeah.
The playing's great.
Yeah.
But the sound isn't great. What would you do then? How would you approach that?
I would probably say like just putting them through like a few boxes, like distortion boxes, or like maybe like reamping them or something like that, just to like add like a new space, like. And that's quite tough, like unless you have like the DI, just to like get it to sound right, I guess. But like, yeah, I would put through like sometimes guitars through like the overstayer saturator. Yeah. And like, you know, just,
you guys are big fans of the Audio Kitchen stuff here, aren't you?
Yes, and Audio Kitchen as well. They're brilliant.
Yeah, they're fantastic amps.
Don't tell anyone.
No, that's our secret.
Exactly.
In your mixes, you spoke about feel.
Yes.
A lot about feel, which I think a lot of people when they're first starting to mix in don't really think about.
No.
Because they're too worried potentially about the technical.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people are sitting there going, you know, I've got to use this plugin or I've got to do this, but they're not listening to the track. How do you manage to separate? I mean, you spoke about going off in, you know, having a rest and just chilling out.
Yeah.
Are there other things that you do? Do you take a lot of breaks? Do you just keep working around a particular part of the song? Do you go from the start and work all the way through? What do you do to sort of, does it just come together magically?
Magically, I wouldn't say. It's more like, I mean, like, I do cycle around like parts, like say like the verses, the choruses, like I would just cycle like the whole chorus just over and over again in a loop, like until like the cows come home. Yeah. And then you have to hear like the transitions and like everything, and then like somehow magically you're just like, ooh, this feels right. It's like
it's very interesting. You spoke about transitions. How do you make the mix work between transitions? Are you what are you doing? Are you using automation?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of automations.
A lot of automation.
Yeah, exactly.
You're pushing stuff.
So pushing stuff into like, you know, choruses and like, you know, like verses, like everything like has to just, you know, just so just like move.
Yeah, move.
Because, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because that's I think that a lot of people neglect
Yes.
that they're not, like I say, they're not listening. They're
Yeah.
just technically trying
Yeah,
to make
exactly.
things work.
Trying to be technically excellent, but technically excellent just bored. Like, I love technically excellence, but if something is just technically excellent, it just bores you to death.
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, could be technically excellent, but what about the song, man?
Yeah. What about the song? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's
Which is something that I learned from Alan Moulder. Like, I can't say how much like they've taught me about that, because if I always like try to like and then they like to like EQ it like to, perfectly everything, and then it says turn around, it's like
what do they say about that? What have they taught you about that?
It's an unquantifiable thing. Yeah, so it's like you can't really say like what makes a good song. Like you know, how does it make you feel? Like, you know, it's very hard to say that, isn't it?
I guess you're right.
Exactly, because like there's like the $1 million question, I guess.
No, but it is up to the engineer to make it $1 million song, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's up to us to
definitely
produce that magic.
Yeah.
What do you have over your Mixbus?
Depends per project.
Okay.
Like sometimes it's the SSL Fusion, sometimes it's just like the Obsidian Prismatic Audio, like, and sometimes it's just the glue, sometimes it's just completely 100% in the box.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like just ozone and like you know, so it just depends. It's
and what defines your choice there? Do we go back to the song again?
Sort of like this kind of like whatever that song suits, whatever piece of gear suits the song.
Yeah.
Sort of like in a perfect world, there'll be like, in a perfect world, I'll have like a Neve Mixbus. I'll have like a, like, you get what I mean? Like you have like so many options that you could just, guess options, having too much options can be bad as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about plugins, isn't it? You've got too many options.
Oh my God. Yes.
You've got too many options in the plugin window.
Definitely.
And you're not thinking about the music again.
Yes, exactly. That's why, like, I mean, that's why we were saying like earlier, like the process, like Alan trusts me to like drive the computer, and he just removes himself from like the, oh my God, there's so many plugins. Like,
right. And would he sit there and sort of go, why don't you try such and such?
Yeah, he would say like, just put this on, like, you know, just put, and then he'll like, you know, he'll like turn around and like fiddle with it. And then like he'd be like, okay, sweet. And then just like add a bit more, add a bit less. You know, just like sort of, it's like
a director.
Yeah, it's just sort of like just directing. It's just like just listening to like the song, because it's quite an impressive thing to watch actually.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Favorite piece of equipment in the studio?
That would be my Overstay modular channel.
Is that mono?
No, it's a stereo processor. It's Desert Island for me.
Desert Island, okay.
Yeah.
Right. And what? So is it? Is it like an enhancer, like an all exciter?
So if I tell you everything that it has, it's a mic pre. It's got mic pre's, which we're recording through right now. It could be really distorted, by the way. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's got DIs, like instrument in line process, like this, like EQs. There's insane like great filters. There's the distortion box. It's a compressor. It's in the 2U unit.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Okay, so there's that. What about plugins? Do you use something a lot, or go to? What's your go to? What's your favorite compressor?
Probably like the compressor on. Damn, that's quite a.
That's come up a few times.
Exactly.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Why do you like that compressor?
Don't have to think about it, like, because you use like a piece of gear so much that like sort of you know how to get results with it. Like it's just instant, rather than just like having to like, if when you get like a new piece of gear, you have to like learn how to use it. When you use something like so much that you just don't even think about it, it's just intuitive.
You mentioned there learning how a piece of equipment works.
Yes.
Okay, and that's really important, I think. When you first start.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're first at the university and you're presented with all of this equipment.
Yes.
But we're taught technical.
Yes.
Aren't we?
Yes.
And what sort of advice can you give to the people listening about learning a piece of equipment? What should they be doing?
Using their ears.
Using the ears.
Yeah, right, rather than just using their eyes, because nowadays it's so easy to like it's so easy to just look at your plugins and like, you know, have like audio analyzer, like, you know, spectral analyzer, and just like use your eyes to mix. But it sort of has to be like, I can't remember who was saying this, but like you have to be sort of a bit, it can be a bit of both.
Yeah.
As well, but like use your ears more than your eyes for sure.
Sure. Yeah, because spectrum analyzers on EQs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because now it's becoming a big part. Like if you're using like, I guess like the Fat Filter Q3, like DMG audio equilibrium, like, you know, you can just mix with your eyes, and it's quite dangerous, I guess.
Yeah. Well, two great equalizers, really. Both of those are fantastic. Things that you like to avoid in the studio, in terms of when you're making a record or mixing a record or recording a record, what do you like to steer away from?
Shortage of water.
Shortage of water. Okay. There you go. That's as simple as any.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be surprised. Like, it's just like, a great session is when you're constantly having like, you have like liquid, like just like drinks, as in like not alcohol, but like, you know, like fluids, like water, coffee, teas. Just constantly, if they're constantly coming at you, you just feel comfortable. And that's the most essential part to any sessions, I think. It's so like, everyone I mean, obviously the pieces of gear have to like work and everything, but like, I can't stress enough like how much like water like helps with your brain. Yeah. Just like a health advice by Caesar Edmunds. Forget about mixing. It's about
wise words. I think that's some wise words there. Yeah. And I think that's a great place to leave it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks very much for your time. It's been great.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you for listening, and be sure to check out the show notes page for this episode, where you'll find further information along with web links and details of all our other episodes. And just before you go, let me point you to the Sound on Sound /podcasts website page, where you can explore what's playing on our other channels. This has been a Mixbus production by me, Kevin Paul, for Sound on Sound.